Hello everyone, welcome back again to our episode of learning. And today, I welcome you all to listen and watch our video. And this video will be about components of neoliberalism.
Neoliberalism is contemporarily used to refer to market-oriented reform policies such as eliminating price controls, deregulating capitals markets, lowering trade barriers, and reducing, especially through privatization and austerity, state influence in the economy. According to Rataru and Sakilariu, globally, the rolling out of neoliberal policies has led to a plethora of harmful socio-economic consequences, including increased poverty, unemployment, and deterioration of income distribution. Neoliberalism involves the belief that greater economic freedom leads to greater economic and social progress for individuals. It supports free enterprises, competitions, deregulation, and the importance of individual responsibility. Opposition to the expansion of government power, state welfare, inflation.
Now let's move forward to privatization. Sell state-owned enterprises, goods and services to private investors, banks, railroads, toll highways, electricity, schools, and hospitals. Purpose is to normally achieve efficiency, and privatization typically results in the concentration of wealth. So as known as privatization, it is the transfer of a company or activity in the hands of the state or public sector to the private sector. So, thus, the privatization of a sector that is the exclusive competence of the state allows other economic agents to participate in the financing, production of goods, and provision of services. So the main objective of privatization is, according to the free economic market system, to reduce the intervention of the state in the economy, because it considers that in this way, thanks to the free exchange of goods and services, the market is more efficiently and enthusiastically satisfied by the needs of the consumers. Privatization implies changes in the roles and responsibilities of public bodies and private companies, so which is not limited to the sale of public companies to the private sector. So, privatization is a process that can be carried out into three main ways. One is sale of state companies to the private sector, and the two is administration of public goods and services by private organizations, and the last one is purchase of services from a private state company. Historically, privatization has operated in three stages. Initially, it occupied cement plants, sugar mills, and hotels. Next, it focused on infrastructure in areas such as electricity, ports, telecommunications, and roads. Later, it continued in social areas such as social security, education, health, or social housing. So, privatization has always been a non-negotiable issue with its defenders and its detractors. So, its defenders are called the neoliberalists, claim that privatization improves the performance of many public sector institutions efficiency, and capacity, resulting in satisfied users.
Deregulation. Deregulation entails reducing government regulation on economic activities, so it allows companies to become more profitable and improve. So the deregulation is the reduction or the elimination of the government power in a particular industry. Usually, it is enacted to create more competition within the industry. It is also the decreasing or removing of regulations and policies within a particular industries. So it is usually occurs within competitive industries where the forces of free market will balance the economy of the system. So this elimination of rules is most likely to happen in industries like transportation, utilities, and banking. So the deregulation of the banking would occur in the form of removing geographic limits and interest rate ceilings. So the significance of deregulation is found in how it alters the entire economy system. The most regulated industries in the US are the transport, production, and finance. So the purpose of this deregulation is generally to free up an industry for it to grow independently.
Now let's proceed to free trade. When we talk about free trade, it's a flow of goods and services across the globe. It exists when there are no restrictions on imports and exports, like constraints of tariffs, duties, or quotas. Free trade allows businesses to expand and sell to people around the world, bringing jobs and opportunities and development, especially in economy. And this would allow millions of people to have better quality of life. Without an open or free international trade, things would be more expensive. Let's have an example of free trade. Philippines and Thailand. Philippines specializes coconut oil but is falling behind in technological fields. On the other side, Thailand makes some of the world's best economic electronics but needs more coconut oil. These two nations enter into a free trade agreement, which each lowers tariffs exporters must pay and begin importing the other specialty. Free trade is considered as beneficial for nations that participate, which enables them to focus on core competitive advantages. The World Trade Organization is one who is at the center of this negotiation trade agreement across countries. And then now we have the elimination of the public good. This is the time where people are only motivated to work towards their individual well-being rather than thinking for the good of the society. In certain instances, neoliberalism eliminates welfare and social programs which adversely impact the poorest segment of the population.
So now let's proceed to the reducing public expenditure. What is public expenditure? Public expenditure is made by the state, Social Security Administration, local authorities, and the administration and bodies attached to them. They can be classified into three main categories. First is the operating expenses, which are used to ensure the smooth running of public services like current staff and maintenance costs, purchase of supplies. Second is the redistribution expenditure, cash benefits paid to households. Example is the retirement pension, family allowance, minimum social benefits, subsidies paid to companies and household. The third is the investment expenditure, which aims to renew or increase public productive capital, like for example the research and development expenditure aims to purchase constructing of building and infrastructures. So government expenditure is normally targeted towards the health and education sectors. So Government expenditure refers to the purchase of goods and services which include public consumption and public investment, and transfer payments consisting of income transfers like pension, social benefits, and capital transfers. So, a government spend money towards the supply of goods and services that are not provided by the private sector but are important for the nation's welfare. Government spending goes to the nation defense, infrastructure, health, and welfare benefits. Furthermore, government subsidies start up industry or industries that cannot proper their operation with funding and private sector such as transportation or agriculture. The transfer payments for pension is not a flexible instrument of fiscal policy, while unemployment benefits depends on the cycle of the economy. Example, recession or expansion. So, conversely, income transfers to private firms in the form of financial and fiscal incentives reinforce investment, activity, and employment. In this case, government spending enables the redistribution of income. Reduction to public expenditure may cause the poor to suffer more. Public expenditure can affect the economy in a number of ways, like for example by providing investment through lending and stimulus, or by correcting market failures such as in education or healthcare markets. Regardless of the effects, public expenditure is necessary to build and maintain highways, schools, police stations. One effect of public expenditure on the economy could be an increase in aggregate demand. If used wisely with other policies such as a progressive consumption tax, greater levels of consumption can result in higher output, lower unemployment, and more sustainable growth rates. However, if public expenditure comes about from an increase in taxation, then it has less favorable effect and leads to lower innovation, to fewer entrepreneurs being able to afford startup costs, discourages long-term economic growth. Neoliberalism eliminates welfare and social programs which adversely impact the poorest segment of the population. So, some effects might be free market access to more products and services to meet consumers' demand, greater revenue and higher profits. Price reduction due to the greater competition can also be an effect. Saving can result from a more efficient allocation of resources, the better organization of workforce, and ability to hire needed talent for a specific job can result from neoliberal policies as well. Others might point and some of negative effects believed to be associated with neoliberalism. This could include economic inequality, the growth of monopolies, a lack of job security, the loss of jobs due to outsourcing, and an increasing indifference to the needs as well of individuals.